Well, another week by and another video to make, right? Huh? I'm still using this background? Isn't that what I did last week? Are you guys getting tired of it? I was going to do Gintama this time, but if you guys want to see something different, I guess it's alright. Well, hang on to your seats because what you'll get this week is... Oh my gosh, who would have thought that Baldy McJumpsuit would take the internet by storm, creating a big fanbase in a short amount of time? One Punch Man was originally an amateur personal project that caught the eye of a manga artist and eventually became a short anime. With 12 exceptionally animated episodes to go through, let's take a look at the superhero and monster-filled world of One Punch Man. Story is very simple. Saitama, the anime's protagonist, lives a dull life as a loser who can't get a job. He's on his way home from an interview when he sees a monster wreaking havoc while looking for a kid. Saitama decides he won't just stand by idly and will become a superhero for fun. He trains hard for 3 years and ends up becoming the most powerful person in the world, capable to destroy his enemies with a single punch. But he grows tired of his lack of challenge and starts to question his existence. That's when Genos shows up, while trying to kill a mosquito monster, and Saitama jumps to Genos' aid. Genos tries to train under Saitama's mantle, and soon they'll get tangled up in matters that threaten humanity as a whole. They also start making their way through the ranks and the Superhero Association, which is a subplot of the anime and main reason they find more heroes. It's a cool storyline and modified slightly from the original manga as many animes are, but it ends up in a weird place, leaving the opportunities open for a full second season following the manga. Given that this is a very short series, I'd like to go over the 12 chapters in a fast manner as to give you guys an idea of what to expect along the ride. If you want to skip it, just go ahead. This is not necessary for the rest of the review. There will be spoilers, so of course, just if you really don't want anything of this anime spoiled to you, just skip ahead. I'll put an annotation somewhere around here so that you know at which time you need to skip to. Let's go ahead.
Chapter 1: The Strongest Man.
The great hero Saitama saves the day. This is a story of how he decided to become a superhero and how his existence as one is starting to seem dull.
Chapter 2: The Lone Cyborg.
City C is in full quarantine as a mosquito infestation greater than any seen before is harassing the inhabitants. A lone cyborg by the name of Genos appears to take care of it, but as the task gets too big, Saitama saves the day in a single slap.
Chapter 3: The Obsessive Scientist.
Genos and Saitama are ambushed and decide to track the ones who sent the ambushers. They wind up in a scientific research facility that modifies humans with animal DNA. After meeting the head researcher, the rest of them are clones, Saitama remembers something important and destroys their ultimate monster.
Chapter 4: The Modern Ninja.
A group of criminals that resort to robbery to avoid getting a job start protesting and shaving their heads. Saitama feels insulted because he did the bold thing first. Time to take down the organization. But there's apparently a ninja that's trying to get to them too. Speedo Sonic. Not the hedgehog. Gotta go fast.
Chapter 5: The Ultimate Master.
Well, it's time to enter the Hero Association for Saitama and Genos. The tests end up amazingly for Genos as he's classified as a rank S. Saitama, on the other hand, did terribly on the written test, but was the best on the physical side. He's placed at the bottom of the C rank, the lowest of them all. Genos also asks for Saitama to finally train him by sparring. Oh, and Genos also moves in with Saitama and pays rent.
Chapter 6: The Terrifying City.
City C is almost completely abandoned, but the few people still living there start hearing rumors about the oldest part of the city, about monsters moving in and overrunning the area. Meanwhile, Saitama is just loafing around while Genos awaits training. It comes to Saitama's attention that he needs to do heroic work at least once per week to avoid being taken out of the Hero Association, so he starts frantically looking for something to do.
Chapter 7: The Ultimate Disciple.
A gigantic meteor is approaching Earth! S-heroes are called to inspect and solve the problem, but barely any of them show up. Genos and Black Knight are the only ones to attack the meteor, but there's another hero there. Bang. After a couple of failed attempts at stopping the meteor, Saitama appears and punches it to bits, which still destroys the city, but doesn't kill anyone. Saitama is later blamed for the destruction of the city, and he is left in shame.
Chapter 8: The Deep Sea King.
There are monsters coming from the sea in big quantities. After some heroes fight the last of them, a bigger threat appears, the Deep Sea King. Appearing almost unbeatable, many heroes attempt to fight him and fail. People are being kept at a refugee, but the king inevitably finds them. Then Genos appears. Also Sonic, Pooty Pooty, and Movement Rider.
Chapter 9: Unyielding Justice.
Genos fights a deep sea king and ends up being defeated by a treacherous acid attack. Just when everything seems lost, Movement Rider gets to the scene. He's promptly defeated but manages to win some time for Saitama to arrive. Guess who wins by a punch? Saitama is finally going to be praised for his efforts, right?
Chapter 10: Unparalleled Peril.
Genos and Saitama are training at Banks, but a distress signal is issued to all S ranks. Saitama goes as well, as they meet most of the top heroes of the S rank. There's an unparalleled danger approaching Earth, and the Hero Association needs to come up with a plan to prevent it. Just as they are starting to plan for it, City A is destroyed completely and a big ship appears on the air. Some heroes go fight one of the aliens, others try to think of a way to enter the ship, and Saitama is already in the ship, exterminating one of the ship's generals.
Chapter 11: The Dominator of the Universe.
Saitama arrives at the main control room of the ship and exterminates the second general, while the heroes on land finally figure out a way to defeat the last general. The rest of the aliens start evacuating as Saitama arrives in the throne room where he meets Boros.
Chapter 12: The Strongest Hero.
The fight between Saitama and Boros, an intense fight of transformations and super speed chases, taking Saitama to the moon and ending back on Earth. The alien invasion is stopped and peace is finally restored. Sometime later, the Hero Association is in full operation again, with fast ways to every city and with new offerings for heroes to stay at the HQ to be prepared to protect the world whenever needed. Saitama and Genos are still at it. They are heroes for fun and profit. So, One Punch Man is almost brand new. The animation is excellent, great music for both intro and outro, very good soundtrack and a very good convection. One Punch Man is amazing. The mood is very easily set by two things: the music and Saitama's expression. When he turns that goofy look of his into an intense fighting position, you know shit is going down. The animation during fights is greatly exaggerated, which helps set the tone as well, as it helps express the sheer strength of the punches, the expressions, and the movement. The characters are also very well drawn and they keep their level of detail almost all the time. The level of detail is good, and while not astonishing, it does make some references here and there to the episodes previous to the one you're watching, especially through flashbacks. Honestly, there's very little to pick from when it comes to One Punch Man and Deficiencies. Some of the characters need more time to develop, like Movement Rider and the S-rank heroes, but the ones that are more important, Saitama and Genos, do make up for that shortage. It feels a bit frustrating to know that some of the details people would have liked to know during the anime are just being released as OVAs. Also, I wouldn't say this really detracts from the anime, but one, the author of the manga, seems to have something with Naked Man. So if you can handle Naked Man, there will be multiple applications in which you'll be looking away from the screen for multiple seconds. And I say this because this actually happened when I was showing the anime to a friend. She just looked away like half the episode due to a character being naked for almost all that time. But all in all, One Punch Man is a very solid anime adaptation.
And so, we reach a conclusion. For One Punch Man to have evolved from one's rendition of the manga into the anime we have today, it really amazes me that people still complain about the drawings or that the main character is unappealing. I finally believe that Saitama is one of the best examples of a humble, respectful, and energetic hero, teaching Genos how to actually become a respectable person without really lecturing him. It's a great story and you'd do well to watch it, which is why I give One Punch Man a serious punch out of regular punches. This translates to a 9 out of 10, as it can't really be a little bit better with pacing, but it's practically unbeatable in terms of action and storyline. You'll be invested when you try it out. Well, that should give some variety to the list. Now we have Gintama, Toradora, One Punch Man, and Cowboy Bebop. Different styles and genres, right? So I'm in the clear to review Gintama next week. Before I leave, please tell me, if you were a superhero, what would be your superhero name and your superpower? Mine would be the pepper, and it should fire out of my mouth and limbs. Until next time, I will see you guys later.